One of Doom Eternal's biggest controversies happened back in April of 2021, when the full Series 1 event and the Doomicorn skin were added to online marketplaces as buyable packs. While this was already somewhat of a big deal for obvious reasons, previous claims that the game wouldn't include any microtransactions whatsoever only added fuel to the fire, and soon enough, the majority of the community was upset to some degree. They continued to add cosmetic packs despite the backlash, and eventually most people stopped caring until 2 years later, when Mighty Doom launched with an item shop and pay-to-win mechanics. To be entirely fair, Mighty Doom is a mobile game, and everyone expects mobile games to have microtransactions. But what we didn't expect was for those microtransactions to make over $1 million only 2 weeks after the game's launch. According to a report in early April, the game was pulling in tons of money and already had a player count of the millions within 2 weeks of the global release, cementing it as an instant financial success. Even now, with the dwindling player count and likely decrease in overall sales numbers, Mighty Doom's success has still been more than noteworthy, and it may have terrible consequences for the future of the franchise. We all know that Bethesda is an incredibly silly company that likes to do silly things, such as putting microtransactions in games that don't really need microtransactions, but we didn't learn why until recently. I mean, the motive is obvious, big companies want lots of money, but it was recently revealed that in 2018, ZeniMax started encouraging developers to include microtransactions and live service elements in their games. This is likely the reason why Doom Eternal had a monthly battle pass, Twitch Prime exclusive items, and the controversial skin packs. It's also probably why Quake Champions had so many microtransactions even when it was still paid, and why Wolfenstein Youngblood had viable currencies and skins at launch. While more recent Bethesda releases have noticeably lacked significant live service elements, Mighty Doom's financial success has likely reignited the interest in putting some level of microtransactions in full AAA releases, like the next id Software title. If they can make millions off of a Doom mobile game in only a few weeks, then there's no way they won't try to replicate that with a larger scale entry, right? Well, not exactly. While the next id Software game will undoubtedly have some level of microtransactions, there's a few things that thankfully get in the way of that becoming a bigger issue. The most obvious thing is Microsoft's acquisition of ZeniMax and Bethesda, which has undoubtedly changed the internal goals of the various studios Bethesda has under their belt. They no longer seem extremely interested in producing a large amount of games with forced live service and multiplayer elements, and it's safe to assume that the acquisition had something to do with that. Bethesda's latest flop, Redfall, was originally supposed to have a really heavy emphasis on live service elements and artificial paywalls, but those features were reportedly removed shortly after Microsoft finalized the deal. This does suggest that they're now more interested in producing worthwhile products instead of live service money generators like Fallout 76, which is definitely a good sign for the future of Doom. I also doubt that they're all that interested in meddling with id Software's current project. Eternal was able to rake in over $450 million within the first year of its release, and they couldn't have pulled that off if it was a trashy live service game. Bethesda may do some incredibly dumb things sometimes, but they know the difference between a spin-off mobile game and a big budget AAA game. I have a fair amount of faith that they'll keep it clean. We'll certainly see events and skins return due to how much the community enjoyed Doom Eternal's cosmetics, but after the internal shift in long-term goals, I can't see them doing much more. I personally don't really think that the future of the Doom franchise is about to be ruined by microtransactions, but who knows? Maybe the next Doom game will be a free-to-play 5v5 online multiplayer game with tons and tons of live service elements, because in that case, it certainly would be in trouble. Do you think we'll see upcoming id Software games get ruined by trashy monetization features? Let me know down in the comments below, I'm curious to know what you think. While you're down there, be sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe for more Doom content. You'll get to stay entertained and I'll get your support. It's pretty much a win-win for both of us. You can find links to my merch store and Discord server down in the description. By the way, you should totally check those out. Anyways though, I think that's all I have for today's video, so thank you all for watching, I hope you enjoyed. Until next time.